Hello, welcome back to Bboss Kitchen, and welcome to those of you who are new. I would like to ask first off, if you have not subscribed to my channel, how about subscribing? Give me a thumbs up if you enjoy watching my video, leave me a comment, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload a new video. Today I'm going to be making for you a Christmas cheesecake. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving, and this cheesecake is made with cranberries. So I thought it would be very fitting for my dessert for our lunch tomorrow. So I'm going to start by showing you the list of ingredients, and then I'm going to get started making this cake. It's kind of a process to do this, but I think that it will be well worth it. So let's get started. You will be needing fresh cranberries, granulated sugar, vanilla extract, cornstarch, graham crackers, brown sugar, butter, cream cheese, heavy whipping cream, sour cream, eggs, vanilla bean, white chocolate baking bar, and whipped topping. You will need a large roasting pan, a 9-inch springform pan, and aluminum foil. This recipe calls for candied cranberries, which is a garnish. It's an optional thing, but I'm going to do it. It goes on top of the cheesecake. And so these cranberries have to be processed and let them sit overnight before you can put them on the cake. So I'm going to get those going first so I can get them in the refrigerator. They have to refrigerate overnight. So I'm going to do that first of all. Okay, first of all, in a saucepan, I will add 1½ cups of sugar and 1½ cups of water. I'll heat this over medium heat until my sugar is dissolved. When the sugar dissolves, I'll take it off the heat, and it will have to cool down before I can add the cranberries to it. Okay, my sugar has dissolved, so I'm going to set this off of the heat. In the meantime, while this is cooling, I'm going to rinse my cranberries and get them ready to go in that. Okay, now I'm going to make a cranberry jam. So it tells me in a medium saucepan to, over medium heat, combine my cranberries, which this calls for 16 ounces of cranberries, and I have rinsed these. So I'm going to put my cranberries in, my sugar, which is a cup of granulated sugar, and vanilla extract, which is 1/2 of a tablespoon of vanilla extract. Okay, it tells me to mix it well and to cook the cranberries, stirring them often, and they'll cook for 12 to 15 minutes. These will actually burst and it will form its own juice. I will cook cranberries like this without the flavoring. I just do sugar and cranberries with just a little bit of water and eat them. They're just so good to me. I love cranberry. Okay, I'm going to set my timer for 12 minutes and we will see if it's done in that length of time. I hope this is a good cheesecake. It's kind of an expensive cake to make with all the ingredients that it calls for, but it looked sensational. So I wanted to give it a try. I just hope it's going to be worth the effort because it's kind of an involved thing to do. So we'll see. I'm going to let these cook and then I will be back. These have been cooking for 6 minutes so far. So they'll cook for another 6 to 9 minutes. But you can see that they have, the sugar's melted and it's making its own juice. It's been 9 minutes now. The cranberries are starting to break down. You definitely want to keep this stirred because if you don't, okay, that's been 12 minutes. If you don't keep it stirred, it would definitely scorch, I think. It would stick. So I'm going to let this cook just maybe for 1 more minute. And that would be 13 minutes that it's been cooking. Okay, that's an extra minute. So it cooked for 13 minutes is how long I've cooked mine. I didn't cook it for 15. So I set this aside and let it cool. And now I'll go to the next step. Okay, you want to, if you don't know for sure that your springform pan will not leak, you want to wrap it with heavy duty aluminum foil, and you just wrap it up to the sides. And because you're going to bake this cake in a large roasting pan that your pan will fit into. You want to make sure that your roasting pan's large enough to accommodate your 9-inch springform pan. And you're going to have water in this. So rather than risk having water seep into your cake, it's better to just invest in a little bit of heavy-duty aluminum foil, wrap your pan just to make sure, because I'd be really sick to put all this work and money and time into this and have water leak into my cake and ruin it. So I have it wrapped with foil. I have my oven preheating at 325 degrees. And so now what I'm going to do is make my crust. I have to grease my springform pan. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to spray it with Baker's Joy. Okay, I have that greased, and so now I'm going to make my crust. Okay, I will process my graham crackers in the food processor. It calls for 1½ cups of graham cracker crumbs. I'm going to process 1 pack at the time. I'm not sure exactly how much it will take to make 1.5 cups. That's not quite enough. Okay, that's made 1 cup. So I need half a pack more. Okay, that's 1.5 cups. So if you're making your own graham cracker crumbs, it's 1½ packages of the cracker. As usual, I didn't have my recording going, but I have combined brown sugar with my graham cracker crumbs, and I have poured 5 tablespoons of melted butter over this. I mixed my brown sugar and crumbs together really well, and so then I poured the butter over that, and I'm just wanting to get that mixed in, and then I will add a teaspoon of vanilla extract that I will also mix into this. For those of you that are very observant, like my granddaughter Ruthie, yes, I have changed pants. I've changed jeans because I managed to spill egg all over the leg of my other ones, and so I had to run change. So just so you know, not that it's important, but my little Ruthie, she notices all those things. So I just thought I would let you all know ahead of time why I've got on different jeans. Okay, I think that's mixed together pretty well. And so now I'm going to put this into my springform pan, and I'm going to press it up the sides about halfway. Okay. Now I have to spread half of the cranberry jam over this crust. So that is about half of it. Okay, now I have to make the cream cheese mixture. Okay, now I have to beat my cream cheese and my sugar together until it's smooth. So it takes 3 packs of cream cheese that I have let come to room temperature to soften it. Okay, and so I have the 3 packs of cream cheese and 1/2 cup of white sugar, granulated sugar. 1 cup of starch, I'm going to beat this until it's creamy, which will be about 2 minutes. Okay, that's been 2 minutes, and so now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of sour cream. And a teaspoon of vanilla. And I'm going to mix that until it's combined. I'm going to scrape down the sides of my bowl. Okay, and I'm going to add my eggs one at a time. Scrape the sides down again and make sure everything is incorporated together. Okay, on low speed, I'm going to add my cornstarch, which is 2 tablespoons. And now I will add my heavy whipping cream. Okay, and now I'm going to scrape down the sides again and mix everything until it's smooth. Okay, now I'm going to cut my vanilla bean in half. Okay, and then I will scrape this into the cheesecake batter. You want to split it lengthways and then just scrape it. Okay, I'm having trouble seeing. I have an issue going on with my right eye. I went to the eye doctor yesterday and he says I have fluid behind the retina, so they are referring me to a retina specialist. So those of you who pray, I covet your prayers once again. I don't know. It's just really strange, but it's really impairing my vision. Okay, and then it tells me to just mix this really well in throughout the batter. Okay, now I will pour my cheesecake batter in over the cranberry jam. Okay, I'm going to add my water before I set it in the oven to be on the safe side. You want to fill your pan halfway up the side of the springform pan. So that's about halfway. So I will set this now in the oven and bake it. My cheesecake will bake for 70 to 75 minutes, and at that point then I'll turn the oven off and open the oven door halfway and let it rest for 10 minutes. My syrup for my candied cranberries has cooled, and so now I have washed my cranberries. I rinsed them real well and let them drain. And so now I'm going to add these to the syrup and stir them around. Make sure they're covered really good. And then I will put these in a container and cover them and put them in the refrigerator for overnight. And then in the morning when I take them out, I'll drain these and then I will roll them in sugar. Okay, I'll put a lid on this now and set it in the refrigerator for overnight. Okay, my timer has just gone off, so now I have to turn my oven off and raise the oven door or open the oven door halfway, and then it's going to rest for 10 minutes like that. So in 10 minutes I'll come back and I will take it out of the oven. Okay, it's been 10 minutes since I opened the oven door, and so now I have to take this out very carefully, not to slosh the water up on it. Okay, and now I have to take the foil off of my springform pan. And I am seeing water. I hope that that didn't get into my cake. I don't know how that would have happened, but somehow it has. I'm going to be one sick turkey, no pun intended, if my cake is wet. That is crazy. I don't know how that water got in that. But it did. Well, hopefully my pan didn't leak. So if it didn't, I'll be okay. Okay, it has to rest for 20 minutes on the counter. It'll have to cool for an hour, and then I'll spread the remaining cranberry jam over the top of the cheesecake. Okay, it's been 20 minutes that it's been resting on the countertop, and so it says to take a greased butter knife. So I greased it with butter, and to run it around the edge of my springform pan. Alright, and then it says to let it cool for 1 hour. So I'll be back in an hour. Okay, my cheesecake has been cooling for an hour, and so now I am to put the rest of the jam on top. Okay. Now I have to cover this with saran wrap and put it in the refrigerator. And after 4 hours, then I can put the mousse on top, which I still have to make. Okay, all right. I'm gonna put my cheesecake in the refrigerator, and it's getting late in the afternoon, and so it has to chill for at least 4 hours before I can put the mousse on it. So what I'm gonna do is in the morning, take it out and make my mousse, and I'll put it on it at that time, and I'll complete this video then. So I will see you in the morning. Okay, this is Thanksgiving morning, and I know that you will see this after Thanksgiving, but I would just like to wish all of you a great day, and I hope that when you see this that you have had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I have been up since super early this morning. I've made dressing and giblet gravy. I'm cooking the turkey. I have cooked a big pot of collards, and my dessert, I've made pecan squares, and I am doing a Christmas cheesecake is what it's called. It's a cranberry cheesecake. I'll be carrying this to my son and daughter-in-laws. This is my contribution to our lunch. So anyway, I want to get completed with the cake now this morning. Like I told you, some of this stuff I couldn't complete until everything was really chilled. So the first thing that I'm going to do is to drain my candied cranberries. This is what I will garnish the top of the cake with. They've been soaking overnight in this syrup, and so I am to drain them, and then I will roll them in granulated sugar. Okay, and now what I have to do is to make my mousse that's going to go on the top of my cheesecake. Now, like I said, I don't know if water got into my cheesecake. I really hope it didn't. Okay, so now I'm going to release my springform pan and take it off. I think it's okay. I think maybe it was the butter that I was feeling, but I'm not sure. I'm not going to take it off of the bottom part of my springform pan. I'm going to leave it on that and just place it on my plate. And now I will make the mousse that goes on top of this, and then I will roll my cranberries in the sugar, garnish it, and it will be done. So let's get started making the mousse. Okay, the first thing I have to do is to beat a block of cream cheese, which I've brought to room temperature so that it would be softened. I'm going to go ahead and get this beat, and then I will have to melt my white chocolate bars to drizzle over the cream cheese and beat that in. Okay, there's no instructions on this about how to melt this. So I'm going to do it just like I would if I were melting chips. The recipe says to follow the instructions on the package how to melt it, but there are no directions. Okay, I'm just going to break this up. Okay, now I'm going to put this in the microwave and heat it. I'm going to start with about 30 seconds. Yeah, it's got to take longer than that. That was 28 seconds. So I'll run it for 30 more. Okay, let's see now. All right, I think it's beginning to melt now, so I think maybe I'll run it for about 10 more seconds now. Okay, once this is stirred, I think the rest of it will totally melt. You don't want to overheat your chocolate, because if you do, then it's just going to burn and get really hard and you can't use it. So it took a minute. Actually, it took a minute and minute and 9 seconds. Okay, that's good. So now what I have to do is to pour this, drizzle it over my cream cheese as I'm beating it in. All right, now what I have to do is to fold in my Cool Whip, which it calls for an 8-ounce container of Cool Whip. So I've got a 16-ounce, and I'll just do half of that tub. Okay, and now I just fold this in. Okay, I think that has gotten it combined very well. And it says that what you can do, if you want to, you can divide this mousse in half and then use a decorating tip to decorate with. First of all, I'm just going to put my mousse on top and just spread it around. I hope this is good. I think it will be delicious with the tartness of the cranberries. That will cut the sweetness partially. So I think it will be absolutely delicious. It's a time-consuming thing to make, but I really believe it's going to be well worthwhile. Okay, and so now I will get my pastry bag out and I will use it to decorate around the edge. I just discovered again that I was not recording. I am just piping the decoration with my mousse around the edges. Okay, all right, so it has the mousse all the way around. Okay, and so now I'm going to set this aside and I'm going to coat my berries and put them on. Okay, what I do is just take and roll them in this sugar just to coat them really well. I will post the recipe below in the description box. Hopefully some of you out there may want to make this. Like I said, it's a good bit of work. It's not hard, it's just kind of long and drawn out. Okay, and now I will just place my candied cranberries on top to garnish it. Well, that completes my cheesecake. I hope you've enjoyed watching my video, and I hope this turns out really good. It's been a little bit of an effort, but I think it's going to be well worth it. I will post the recipe below in the description box, and I hope that you will give it a try. I won't be able to do a taste test this morning, but maybe this evening, if there's any of it left after we have dinner today, maybe I can do one this evening to show you how it looks. But anyway, I really appreciate you watching, and until the next time, this is B-Boss saying, may the Lord bless and keep you and your family safe, and until we see each other again, you take care, and happy Thanksgiving. Bye. Okay, I am back home after having Thanksgiving lunch or dinner or whatever you want to call it with my family. We've had a wonderful time. We've had quite a crowd there. And the cheesecake was a huge hit. But like I told you, I would bring some back home and do a taste test for you, even though I have already had a piece of this after lunch today. And I have to tell you, oh my goodness, it is so good. And I was so worried that water had gotten into my crust. But as it turned out, everything was okay. And the cranberries, the candied cranberries on top, just adds such a special touch to the cheesecake because the tartness of the berries, because they're raw. Even though they're raw, they're soaked in that syrup and then rolled in the sugar, so they're candied. And oh my gosh, they are so good. My grandson-in-law and my daughter-in-law's brother, which I feel like he's, you know, he's family to me too. They were eating just the berries. So here is to you. Christmas cheesecake is the name of this, but it is a cranberry cheesecake, and it is definitely worth all the effort that goes into this. So happy Thanksgiving, and here's to you with the cheesecake. It's so good. The cranberries, the cranberry jam that's in it that you make, and then of course the raw candied cranberries offsets the richness of the cheesecake. It is so delicious. That concludes my video. I really appreciate you watching. I think I've already told you this, but anyway, may the Lord bless and keep you and your family safe. And until we see each other again, you take care, and I'll see you soon in another video. Bye.